In the world of robotic vacuums, having a smart robot vacuum is just as important as anything else. Now this here's the Narwal Freo X Ultra, and I have to say I'm a pretty big fan. Now we actually saw Narwal at CES, in which they showcased some of their latest products, and they went ahead and sent us this one here to review in the real world. Now it actually has a lot of unique kickers, including its own detergent area that you can go ahead and put in there to go ahead and give it a nice clean smell, as well as an auto water exchange system that lets you to go ahead and flush the water in here without actually touching it. It also has an auto mop washing with dirt sense, an auto mop dampness control, an LCD one-touch control, and an auto station cleaning as well, where it just not cleans the vacuum but also the base at the same time. So it's got a lot of cool things I actually haven't seen before, but I'm happy to go ahead and showcase them today, in which if you guys wanted your very own, check out the link down below in the description. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so check it out. So this here's our packaging. This is your box. Really big box compared to some of the other robotic vacuums we've seen. Now on the front here kind of shows a little bit more about it in detail, but on this side here it kind of talks about what's included. So obviously you do get all your basic accessories, but one thing I want to notice that it does come with detergent, which is actually kind of cool. On this side here it talks about more of the specs. So over here we do show it's 8200 PA, has both spinning and scrubbing mops, has 7-week self-empty solution. So what that does is it'll actually compact the dust itself, making it a lot more easier to use and kind of retaining more space. Now it does have the zero tangling floating brush, which is a unique design that we kind of looked at previously at CES, where it will actually kind of push it along to the side and kind of suck it right up. And then of course you have the auto mop washing and drying, so it'll automatically dry itself when you're done using it, and then it does have a tri-laser obstacle avoidance. Let's open this thing up and see what's inside. Whoa, that hurts. Okay, we got ourselves a user manual. And then this thing is just going to be like a bunch of layers, it looks like. So we'll set this guy here. So this is everything that we get. So we have our cool looking base station. Now this thing has a really futuristic vibe to it. Just looking at it, it looks really nice and clean. Just go ahead and kind of lift this up here. You can actually take a look at the cleaning unit. This is kind of nice. So this is kind of where it brushes the mop pads. And then you just go ahead and slide that back in there. But also on the top here, you do have a nice looking screen here. This will kind of show you some of the statuses in terms of what's happening. Now it also does indicate how much dirt it is and stuff like that too. Now underneath here, you have your dirty water as well as your clean water base station. And then back here, in here you can go ahead and put the detergent. So that's kind of nice that everything is like right in front of you. Now moving on, we have our robotic vacuum. So overall a really cool look to it. Definitely a nice clean cut finish, a little bit bigger than I was expecting, but yes, definitely a lot nicer than some of the other ones I've previously seen. Now one thing to note is that if you go ahead and lift this up here, you'll have this little compartment. Now this compartment here contains this little baggie which you can go ahead and store dust in. Now the nice thing about that is that it'll actually go ahead and compress the dust, so you don't really have to like worry about it like getting full really fast. And then they do include 3 total, and then of course you have your manual container that you can go ahead and just put in there, and you can always go ahead and open this up and kind of dump it out by simply lifting that there, and just kind of going like that. So that's actually pretty nice that they do include both options. If you go ahead and flip this thing over, you'll see our mop pads. So these here are 2 mop pads. Again, these will actually elevate, which is kind of nice, and then you do have your wheels with suspension. And then this here is the unique little brush that is actually, whoa, look at that. That is their like little design that they have where it'll be like anti-tangling. So it'll automatically throw the hair in here, and then instead of getting tangled on the side, it'll kind of suck it right into that little corner right over there. So one thing to know is that this particular vacuum has a self-contained dust processing system. In other words, it doesn't actually have a base station that will collect the dust. Now that itself is actually an advantage, mainly because one, makes it silent and it's disposable. You get this like little baggie that you can go ahead and do it, or you could do the case based on what you want to do. And it features a U-shaped air duct, so it's more high flow, and it actually has less clogs, making it more advantage. Now it is only 71 decibels compared to some of the the other robotic vacuums with the base station is significantly louder, and it has a dust bag air drying system. So in other words, as it's collecting dust, it'll actually throw air into it, allowing it for moisture to evaporate, reducing health risks from bacterial growth. And then another unique factor about this vacuum is that not only does it actually clean by spinning, it actually applies pressure down on the mops at the same time. Now, being that you have double, it features 12N downward pressure with 180 RPM, and it actually makes it a lot more efficient compared to some of the other robotic vacuums that simply just spin about. Now, this particular vacuum, if you look at the bottom, the mop pads are not your typical circles. In fact, they're triangles. And the reason behind this is it actually gives you more coverage. So usually with the circle, you'll actually have a little bit of a gap in between, but with the triangle feature, it actually gives it more scrubbing capability and getting you more efficient in terms of being able to hit all the areas. Let's go ahead and set this thing up next and give it a go. Alright, we're all set and ready to go. Went ahead and set up our Narwal, already downloaded the app, as well as updated it, and even did a quick mapping to show you guys. Now, this here it is, and this here's our main app to kind of show you in a really unique way. So right now we already have it set up. It's currently in standby mode. Now, if you just look at this over here, you do have our digital screen here on the front. So you have your AI system, you have your mopping mode, your home button, and then your start button, all of which you can simply just press and it'll go ahead and do itself right there. But you can also control it via the app. So this here is our main menu. So if I go into a device menu, it'll actually show the room that we've created. So another thing we could do is obviously see it in 2D or in 3D. So this is kind of neat too. So you can technically label rooms and kind of make your own environment. It's really up to you on how you want to do it. Now, aside that, on the bottom side here, you'll have your vacuum and mop, your vacuum then mop, your vacuum mode, and your mop mode. So you can definitely just do your own customs way based on what you want to do. So it's literally up to you in terms of how you want to edit it, and then you can create your own way of like mopping in a specific area or vacuuming in a specific area. But it does have that built-in smart system, which will allow it to detect carpet if necessary. Now, other than that, you can also do areas, so you can pick and drag and drop what you want to clean. So for this situation, we'll kind of pick this area here, and we'll kind of make this a little bit bigger, just like that. And I kind of set up a little bit of an obstacle course here. You got a robot and like a little potion bottle, and just kind of see how it kind of handles maneuvering about. Now, before we start it, I'm going to go and show you the settings here. So on the top left, there, we'll actually see our different settings, so you can see all the different modes in here. So you can technically customize things, like here's the clean mode, so you can do edge mode and smart mode. You have your general, which you can technically, do like child lock and things like that. So it does give you that full access. And then you also have your base station. So these here are different ways to go and essentially find the right setting for you, down to language and voice and third-party control. So that's going to be like your built-in smart Alexa, things like that. Now, to kind of show this part here, I'm going to go and just kind of do vacuum and mop. And to kind of give you a quick little demo, I'm going to hit start. Alright, so you can see that right now it's using the AI system. It's detecting the different areas, adapting to the floor materials, clean corner edges, AI dirt sensor, stuff like that. And on the bottom left, it'll show the timing as well as our progress in terms of cleaning goes. So we'll just go ahead and set this up right over here. And you can hear it kind of already mopping the water. Sorry, you can already hear the water kind of running through the system. And then if I click on task, it'll actually show your own schedule that you can technically create. And then if I go into history, it'll show your previous cleans in terms of how long and how much. So it's kind of nice, it does show that. And then over here, it'll actually show the previous areas that we cleaned. You can see this area right over here, which we just did over there to kind of show the carpet cleaning aspect of it. All right, so you can see it coming out now. And at this point, what it's going to do is it shows you in real time what's happening. And you can see it already kind of scrubbing away. So it is coming near our robot here, and you can see it kind of squeezing through between the servant as well as Kebby. And there we are. Let's go move this for a second. So right now it already says 4% clean, and it actually shows you where it's clean so far. Let's make that a little bit bigger, and let's move that to the side. All right, so right now it's creating the perimeter. And you can see it kind of going around. Again, it will actually show right over here where exactly it's been. And for this sake here, we'll go ahead and put the robot dog. Put him right over here. Okay, you can see it going all the way to the edge of the wall. And now note, this is carpet, right? So theoretically, once it detects carpet, it should automatically elevate or raise up the pads. And in fact, it actually looks like it might be just going around it. All right, okay, so it's going on the carpet. And there you are. It just raised up the pads. You see that? That's actually cool. So it's able to go ahead and detect the carpet and then adjust for it. Yeah, so you can see the pads up there right there. All right. All right, so the pads just went back down. You see that right there? And it's back. And then you can see right here, this little pattern is supposed to be the carpet. So you can see that it detected that this is carpet and it labeled it as well. Okay, so we're on the edge. So we're on the edge. This is the edge. You can see it, how it's kind of going around there. That's pretty cool. All right, so now that it's done the outside, it's going to do the insides next. So here we are. Again, kind of going around that robot right there right now. If I go into here, I can make it more powerful. So you can see it kind of going around the potion bottle right now. All right, see that right there? Just kind of show you what happens if it comes into an impact right there. Look at that. So it is kind of responding quite well, and it's actually moving itself around the dog. So if you had like a pet here, like a real pet, it would actually kind of move itself around it. And you can see right now it's kind of working its way around it, and even on the map it'll go ahead and make a circle. So this part here is where the dog was. So that's kind of nice, and it uses its own AI system to kind of calculate what is the best route of action in terms of being able to go ahead and clean it. In the 3D map you can actually see it as well, how it's cleaned. I think 2D actually does show it a little bit better, especially with where it is in real time, as well as in terms of what's carpet and what's not. And then I can tell it to go back to the base station. Recall. And it should automatically return itself, just like that. There we go. For this quick little test here, I'm going to show you exactly how does it clean. So these pads here are actually dirty. I don't know if you can actually tell, but they're actually a little dark brown. However, what's going to happen is it'll actually go back into the base station, and the base station will clean it, specifically on this pad here. So you can just see the way this is designed. It'll actually shoot water into it and kind of scrub it. So we'll see a quick little before and after, and exactly how does it look.
Mop washing started.
So right now it's washing the mop pad, as you can already hear. And then inside here, they'll be taking some of the clean water, flushing it through there, cycling it into the dirty water container, which you just go ahead and lift up and drain. All right. All right, so check it out. So off the back, definitely a lot more cleaner than it was before. They're actually nice and wet, and they actually have a nice smell to it too. I can smell it from over here. And then what you can see over here, that it did kind of clean it off with this. And even this is all wet as well, so it was just kind of scrubbing the water in there. And then if you go inside here, you actually take a look. This here is the dirty water. You can see the color of it. And then this here is still the clean water that we have. So it flushes it through there, and then it ends up in here. And then you just go ahead and drain it by simply taking it to the sink and then just draining that. Look at that. So that's pretty cool. All right, so for this quick little test here, we're gonna put some hair here on the ground. And now typically what will happen, it'll vacuum it just like this. Now most robotic vacuums will actually get stuck in the spindle. But this one here actually has a unique way. It will actually kind of blow it to the side, which you already mentioned. So let's go ahead and see what happens once it goes back home. So moment of truth, went ahead and already sent it back home, but you can see right over here that the spindle is nice and clean, even though we vacuumed a bunch of hair. Let's go ahead and take this off here. You can actually see it up a little bit closer. And yeah, look at that. Really nice and clean. Now, the way that works is typically it would actually get stuck on the sides. However, if you notice here, this particular thing only has it on one side, not the other side. So what happens is that the hair will actually go up into that little slot right there, and then that's the end of it. So overall, pretty cool concept. Most robotic vacuums will have like a little brush here, in which will kind of cut up the hair to go ahead and vacuum it easier, but it'll also damage the spindle. But this here is actually a great concept and actually a very unique way of cleaning. So yeah, overall, a really simple concept and relatively easy to use. I love the fact that it has a lot of different bells and whistles, and of course, really user-friendly in terms of mapping goes. And yeah, in the click of a button, you can go ahead and control this thing. And then of course, you can always go ahead and control it using this as well. And I can go ahead and click on history, and it'll kind of show me exactly what it's done. And if I go into the main menu here, that's about it. So yeah, there you guys have it. If you guys had any questions about the Freo X Ultra, feel free to comment down below. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye.